Our trip to Machu Picchu started with a 2-hour bus ride from our hotel in Cusco to where we boarded the train for Machu Picchu. The train has a vista dome, and the view along the way is quite spectacular and includes a nice meal. The train ride takes about an hour and a half to the town of Aguas Calientes, which is the nearest town to the ruins. Once in Aguas Calientes, it is a 30-minute bus ride up a steep 13-hairpin mountain road to the actual ruins. We survived the treacherous bus ride to reach the entrance of Machu Picchu. Our passports are stamped with a commemorative logo. And Sue's excited to see that they put 50
right here
as her age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is Walter, our tour guide, and he will tell us about Machu Picchu.
I want to tell you with this that before Hiram Bingham in Machu Picchu, there were other Indians living around. Okay, that's very important. That's why I say Hiram Bingham was the man who discovered Machu Picchu in a scientific way. But if we talk about who really discovered Machu Picchu, there were Indians already here, living. Where now we have that expensive hotel outside, there was one of the families living in there. And thanks to this family and other families, Indians around Machu Picchu, the area, Hiram Bingham was able to discover Machu Picchu. And then later, thanks to the National Geographic, this place became to be very famous and popular.
The view of the lost city is obstructed until we pass through a narrow opening in a large rock wall.
Yeah, surprise and overpower.
And there it is in all its glory, a truly breathtaking moment. Pictures just don't give it justice. It is much more expansive than I thought. It has a mystifying sensation surrounding it, with the afternoon mist rolling in. There is a lone tree in the courtyard as llamas are grazing nearby.
Excavations.
Yes. Yeah,
Is that the
you're
right
right,
term?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, from 1911. Yes. You see the other section there?
Yeah.
The other part? Machu Picchu was almost like that.
Wow.
It was covered with vegetation, and there were hundreds of Indians in here in the team of Hiram Bingham, and they start to cut. In order to make these terraces, archaeologists are telling us that they started in bottom, like boxes. Something very interesting impressed to us, my friends, was that the dirt, the fertile soil, they brought all the way from Urubamba. There are two Quechua words. Machu means old, and Picchu, mountain.
Oh, yes.
Old mountain. And that's the opposite.
I knew one of them.
The other one we have there is the opposite. It's the John Mountain. Huayna Picchu means John Mountain, and Machu Picchu, Old Mountain.
Notice this foundation is carved right out of the mountain, as Walter tells us more.
Astronomy. Amazing people in here. These people, because they learn generations after generation, they develop a special system to study astronomy. And I will show you once we are in above how they did that. And I also have a picture about that
Is
point.
this where the sun comes and focuses and shines through this window at a
Yes.
certain time? of-
You are completely right. Exactly.
They are talking about the Temple of the Sun. On the winter solstice, 6/21, the sun shines directly through the eastern window and lights up a predetermined spot, highlighted in red, on a large ceremonial stone altar, which is situated in the middle of the temple. On the summer solstice, 12/21, the sun shines through the southeast window and lights up the exact same spot. Can you imagine the engineering difficulty with the construction in stone and taking 12 months to confirm you have the correct orientation?
Of course, if we do our normal thing, we should take a picture of this temple.
This is outside of the Temple of the Sun. Hiram Bingham
Wow, that's
told
impressive.
us that this temple was covered
Look how
also
sanded
with
they
gold.
are.
Possible inside or outside, like the Temple of the Sun in Cusco. We're gonna see bigger rocks on the bottom, and we have the smaller rocks on top. Now, can you see some stones coming out from the walls, my friends?
Yes.
This were to tie out the roofs. This one here.
Walter points to the courtyard down below as more llamas are grazing.
Oh, we got llamas
Now,
too.
we're gonna go there later. We're gonna go there. All right, take your picture, then we go in here. Nice spot there also for personal pictures.
It has been a long day for all of us, especially me, since I've had little sleep going on 72 hours now. We climbed the stone steps up to a perfect vista overlooking the majestic ruins.
You want a copycat, you can copycat.
No. Okay, yeah.
We now move to the Temple of the Three Windows, as Walter and Jordan tell us about it.
Temple of three windows. Three windows. Each window is representing one spiritual world. Upper world is one another world. But Joel has something else to tell us.
So the number 3 was an important number for them. So that's why you can see 3 windows temple in here. And also, let's focus on this stone here. You know, it's a nice detail. This stone, well known as the Chacan, or the Inca cross, with 3 steps in every side. So this upper step could represent the upper world, this world the underworld. Condor, puma, and snake, those were the sacred animals that the Incas had during those times. You know, and we only see the half of it. What about the rest of it? In the archaeologists, when they started to dig out around this rock, they didn't find the half of this rock, you know, in order to complete like this. So during the winter solstice, when the sunbeams hit the rock, it will project a shadow on the ground to complete the chacan. So then you can see that beam pocket, in comparison with this beam pocket, that's finished and that one is not finished. That means this temple was under construction. Do you think your house is finished? Do you think your cities, your states are finished? No, you're always improving things as human beings. They were human beings and they used to improve their stuff, their architecture and so on. You can see the column in here with an indentation on top to hold on the lintel that came across. Isn't it? This used to have an open facade, you know, and the house for the priest who was in charge of these temples around was the one we can see from here on the left hand side. And you can easily recognize by the architecture, isn't it? It's not as fancy as this place because this is a temple and that one is just a house, you know, dedicated to the highest priest who was in charge of this area, of this square.
Here I am at the main temple and pointing out one of the few areas of the ruins that have shifted over time. There are many theories on the cause for this wall, to earthquakes, which they don't have, to the foundation being made of sacred sand that just washed away.
The temple of Huiracocha, temple of three windows, and the house of the high priest over there. All right? Special ceremonies in here, connection with the other one we have. Question, please?
The architecture of this temple is called Huiranda by having only 3 of the usual 4 walls. Still in the sacred plaza, Walter tells us more.
If we see carefully the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are represented the 4 cardinal points. North, south, east, and west. If you have a compass, you're going to see clearly those cardinal points. And this was part of the constellations. June 21st, we come here, same that in the other one, we have a special shadow on the ground. Looks like a llama head. Exactly that, and that's for about 4 minutes more or less. If you see the bunch of rock we have there, it was the main quarry stone of Machu Picchu. There were many, but this was the main one. And according to geologists, the rocks collapsed from that big mountain 100 years before the Inca, making of the place, my friends, the right place to make a city. So when Pachacute was here with his people, he saw all this and he found these materials and a flat place. This is the place we're going to build Machu Picchu. The stones were not transferred from long distances. The stones were here. The rocks were here. And we're talking about natural rock granite formation. Power is coming from there, all the weight supporting it here. That's why we have this rock. But not everywhere. In order to separate the power of the energy coming from above or from below, they made this. But that one, how do you call those? Intersection or keystones? ¿Cómo se llama?
Keystones.
Keystones. Very good.
God, they were smart.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Ah, look at that. La vibración, ¿no? It's a vibration.
Great, more steps. Now Jordan tells us about this magical stone.
Sticking out from the boulder. That's where they used to tie up the llama and the golden disc. Because the idea of these people was to attach the sun in there. The local chieftain that was in charge of Machu Picchu used to climb here and sit over there, and wait for the summer solstice, because that throne is pointing.
This stone is one of the many ritual stones in South America. This carved stone altar, whose shadow marks the changing seasons, enabled Inca priests to predict such events as the winter solstice, which marks the beginning of the harvest and sowing. Researchers believe that it was built as an astronomical clock, or calendar.
You are not able to touch it though. You can put your hands as close as you can, and you can absorb a bit of the energy.
Shirley MacLaine once visited this sacred stone and claims, just as our human body has chi, life forces, running through it, so does Earth. Sue and others try their hand at it. Jordan tells us about the water mirrors.
What in Maron is espejos de agua. Espejos means mirrors. Agua means water. Water mirrors. Incas used to reflect their stars, constellations, eclipses, through the reflection of the water they could see and observe their stars, And we can get blind, we can burn our eyes. That's why back during Inca's times, they built these water mirrors to reflect their eclipses too. Isn't it? Through the reflection they could observe the eclipses and so on. Like the sextant they use in the Navy, to measure angles. Back during those times they used these water mirrors to measure the angles of the sky. The archaeologists didn't know how to explain why the Incas, always carved out the stones, in cooperation or in the shape with the constellations, but upside down. And the answer is this, because they used water mirrors back in those times to study the sky.
Bob points out that an eerie mist is rolling in. We make our way down to the Temple of the Condor.
For all the perspective and all the tools we found in here, artifacts and tools, and also some llama's bones, we believe that this was the temple of the condor. And the condor was an animal symbolizing a connection with the upper world, a messenger from the God. I was reading a book from the colonial time. The Spaniards said that when the Inca sacrificed llamas and alpacas, usually the heart and the lungs when the animal was alive. And then the rest of the body, they make special decorations, necklaces made of gold and silver, and they brought all the way to the top of the mountains. For what reason? Picking up
his hands.
And that was the rest of the offering to go to the upper world. That conception, we put it here too.
This temple is shaped like the body of a condor. The Incas overcame many obstacles to construct this impressive citadel on the fringe of a mountain over 8,000 feet above sea level. They engineered a running water system that still operates today after being abandoned for 500 years. This is the view of Sungate, and you can see the trail that we're going to hike on early tomorrow morning.
That's going to be our goal tomorrow. And now look at the trail we have. That is another.
The next morning it is drizzling as we start our hike to Sungate.
Every trip to the Sungate begins with a single step.
On the way, we take frequent stops to photograph this amazing landscape. The lighting is much different this time in the morning with the mist in the air.
Getting hot? Whew.
Got a little oxygen tank.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea.
That would have been really good. You want me to take my stuff? On the ship and stuff too, it's just driving. I noticed mine is not really.
Hey, Bob, look up, or you fall down. Okay.
Ready, so just here.
They need to see this rock. $8,364. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We all set?
Yes, sir. We're all set. There are more ahead. Well,
Yeah, Leslie and Sue we'll see them on the way back down maybe. They always walk really fast. So Bob and I are usually like way back and we can barely see them, and then they don't even look back. And they're like 2 miles ahead of us everywhere we go.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're quick. They go zoom. Getting cold now.
Hello. Yeah, señora.
Are they there yet? No kidding.
We're doing this big victory time.
Well, there's nobody there to take their picture. There's nobody there to take their picture.
That's right. I think I'm stopping here. There's nice shots here.
Hold on, let me get your picture.
Well, it's nice. I can see why you married that woman.
Come on, Lavina, you can do it.
He's gonna take our pictures. I'm gonna get over here by the rock so it's not cold. I took my coat off. There, what's that?
Right there. Right there.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, don't
Wait a minute.
go anywhere.
Just turn and look this way.
The hike to Sungate took us about an hour and a half as we head back to Machu Picchu. Since we made good time on the way back, we now have enough time to hike to the Inca Bridge.
Thanks for saving my life.
I slipped on a wet rock, but Jordan was there.
Sure. I'll just lay him here.
At this point, it is a 1,700-foot straight down drop to the river below while walking on a 3-foot wide ridge with no railings. That is 250 feet higher than the Empire State Building.
You coming back?
Yeah, just get Angela here. Bob's taking pictures.
Okay.
If you want to go take pictures.
Sue passes me on this narrow ridge like any other afternoon stroll.
I'm gonna go a little further. Just want to get a panoramic. What's down here?
Bridge sign.
Bridge out?
Yeah.
This is the famous Inca bridge that they would pull back the wooden planks to keep their enemies away. As usual, I have a difficult time keeping up with Sue and company as they are patiently waiting for me.